a raise, or whatever. That's fine, but philosophically, what are you trying to accomplish? That's what I want to try and deliver for you. But I'm not trying to satisfy or please myself. I'm trying to figure out how you, without sitting down and having a one-on-one conversation with every one of your employees, what are you trying to accomplish? Okay? And maybe you don't answer that now, but we come back to that here in a little bit. Okay? Because I ask these kinds of questions frequently because I want to know, what is it we're trying to do? If it's just to pay them more, then the heck with it, let's just pay them. Okay, but then there's no rhyme or reason, and you develop other kinds of problems, unintended consequences. I get those all the time. In fact, I got a $5,800 bill in the mail this morning, unintended consequence of the legislature. Okay, updating our taxation system. We haven't had to do this before, but we got to do it now. $5,800 because of the changes that they made that they claim won't change anything. Okay, unintended consequences. We deal with them all the time. All right, what's going to happen with insurance? Nobody knows that for sure, but you know it ain't going to stand pat. So I'm planning on, give or take, I'm planning on somewhere in the 8% range. I hope I'm about right. Worst case scenario, I'm not going to be way off. I don't think it's going to be 5. I don't think it's going to be 10. I'm trying to land someplace in the middle and be as realistic as I possibly can be.
Oh, the insurance, you don't know.
What I can tell you,
or it could be 15.
what I can tell you is based on our current costs, a 1% increase will cost you just short of $4,600. Okay, 1% will cost you just, so if it was 10%, it's going to cost you about 46 grand. So that's what I'm trying to figure out, okay? So we've absorbed a position, we have the possibility of absorbing another one. I need to know where we're at on that because that is a situation that we're going to take a look at here momentarily. Before we do that, I want you to take out this sheet. These represent a handful of departments that are not, you know, they're outside of county control, but nevertheless, we've got coroner, we've got health officer. We addressed those last year. They're still, I mean, they're still really low. We've got the health district, which they were in here moments ago. You've got the Fair Association, Historical Society, JDA, Soil Conservation, Water Board, Weed Board, and the Aging Council. Most of these are going to be fairly simple, but I want to go through each page here and be done with them. Those first two we can kind of take in conjunction with one another. We did raise these a year ago. What are your thoughts on these two things?
Coroner and health
Okay, you're talking about coroner and...
Coroner and health officer, they're the same person, it's Dr. Nias. You can see on the second page there, we went from 2628 to 3300 last year. It's still a pittance, okay? What do you want to do?
Leave them the same.
I'd definitely say that's good.
Okay. The three of it, others of you, are you okay with that?
Leave them the same.
Good. Okay. Public Health District, okay. Obviously, we just got done writing them a check at the end of last month for 60 grand. That showed up in the page that she delivered to you here. The max that we can tax for the health district is 5 mils, which can get you $239,725. That's part of the 3%, I'm sorry to say. So the jump from 160 to 239 is going to chew up a good portion of 3%. So the only other way that you can go above and beyond this would be to do what you just did. But if I need to know if I'm going to, because 60 grand, if I have to do that 2 times again next year, I got to build that into a budget. I got to know.
Right.
That's why I asked her, I said, are you gonna make it to the end of the year?
All right.
I hope the answer was yes, but I don't know if it was not. Because when they originally requested that 60,000, they said for quarter 3. Which made me think, you're gonna come back here again in quarter 4 and ask for another 60 grand. I gotta know about that. I just don't have that laying around in a drawer.
It sounds like they're gonna make it, right? No?
You're talking 2027 now?
No,
or-
the rest.
Six.
Yeah, that's the, yeah.
I think the rest of this year is good.
You know, and some of that you don't know. And I'll disagree with you a little bit that I know it should all be in the budget, but that's where the general fund extra money is used for is when crap like that happens. You know, I think on the positive side, I gotta think down the road, we're gonna, health district's gonna get some of that state money, so this should get better. There's no guarantee of that, and I know the person who's writes everything in stone as far as the budget, that messes with your head, but
I don't, and I'm not so, I'm not anal enough to think that you've gotta have everything in your budget. But 60,000 here, 60,000 there,
yeah,
I
that's,
can't
you're talking
account for
real
that.
money.
Yeah, you're talking real money.
And the road department's another example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To a bigger degree,
Do a bigger degree.
right? Yeah. You know, oil can go from 150 a gallon to 450 a gallon in chip seal. That's what's off the subject, but I know.
So, and I want you to know, and that's fine, we can go after the 239,725 here, but I have to carve the difference between that and 160 out of someplace else, okay? Because that's above the 3%,
Yeah, I thought.
all right? So I have to account for it someplace else in the budget. And maybe you need to come back to this, but I would be the first one to say, yeah, they're gonna need every single cent of this.
With the 239.
239,725, they're gonna need all 5 mills.
Oh, yeah, no
So
question.
where does the 310 come from? That's just requested?
That's what they asked for, and I
Because
can't,
the 5 mills doesn't cover their expenditure.
yeah.
Right.
I can't, there's nothing I can do to go above 239,725. Okay, turn the page, Fair Association, it really doesn't make any difference what their budget is if it's above 71,921.40, which I wrote in there, we give them the equivalent of $1.5 million. Okay, so this one's probably okay, right? Turn the page, Historical Society, they're asking for a small increase, it's so negligible, we okay with that?
Yeah,
All right, JDA is not asking for anything new or different, so that one looks like an easy one. We're good there?
Yep.
All right, next page, Soil Conservation District. This is an increase of a little over $2,500. They're still way below their budget, obviously, but and case in point, this is easy, but you gotta carve away that 2572 someplace else. But are we good with this?
Did they get a person for this position? They were looking, I'm just asking if that's in the budget.
So, are we good on this page?
So is this an area you can carve out of, you think?
Well, $2,500 will be a lot easier than trying to figure out how to chip tens of thousands. So, all right, water board, this is one of the parts that is not affected by the 3%.
That's right.
Water board and emergency are not affected by this, so, but their increase is a substantial one.
Yeah.
Okay, in terms of a percent, that looks like,
1%.
oh, yeah, it's at least 8 or 9. So, your thoughts on this?
So, the other alternative that they have is to tax the grains that are
Well, and they would have to actually do work on those drains to justify it.
Well, they've been doing some of that, but I mean, they can tax, they have the ability to tax the drains that are there.
Yeah, and they do.
But that tax on those drains only applies to those drains.
Yeah,
That
Not
really doesn't have
for
anything to do
overall.
with
it
this.
isn't money for this.
It's not money for this.
Not
It's
for the overall
it's just for
thing.
work on those drains, so.
But can they use that money to cover the cost of that attorney deal where there was a drain?
And that, I guess I can't answer that part of it.
Just curious.
That's an answer for all of them.
Yeah.
A question, I mean, not an answer, a question for all of us.
Tammy would know,
You want me to answer that question?
yeah,
Yeah.
So the drain money sticks only with drain
I said that right, right?
expenses, yep, yep. What's
What
yours?
about the lawsuit? Can they take any money from them drains because that was a drain up there or not?
So the drain is paying for that,
Okay,
no general fund money.
Right.
This is just strictly general fund
that
money.
was what, 90,000?
I wish.
135, isn't it?
We'll keep going.
Really?
Keep guessing.
Ooh.
Okay.
But the insurance reserve fund did cover some of it.
Well, Tammy, as long as you're standing there, obviously, we're toning down office supplies to the tune of $500, engineering to the tune of 5,000, legal fees up 10, and salary, mileage, and expenses up 10. So there's a difference in the budget. Just briefly speak about the wisdom of that as long as you're standing there.
Sure. So the 10,000 increase for salary, you have to remember there are 7 of us. So that's an increase of $140 a month, really, when you break it down per person. There's 7 of us.
So how much are your meeting fees?
So it's set by statute, so $200. Plus we have, a gate man and myself and 5 board members. So it's an increase, like you said, of $140 a month, really.
And legal fees, are we anticipating something, or what's the thought?
It's hard to know what's
You
what.
never know.
Well, usually when you see an increase, you're planning for something.
Well, we didn't plan for a lawsuit.
No, but do your monthly?
Well, our
you pay-
attorney fees
Is that gonna go up from
Yes, our attorney
47?
fees went up. He's trying to find, and he lost his assistant that was doing things a little bit cheaper for us, but, he increased his fees. We have to compensate, make up for that too.
So that's the reason, most of it.
That, and, we need an engineer and legal fees for all our tile permits, and by statute, we can only charge $500 for a tile permit, but they average about $2,500. Crazy.
Understandable.
Do you have one
change
funded
that tile
mandates,
permit
too?
price?
Nope, because that's set by North Dakota statute.
So if the person that owns the land, that's all he has to pay, he has to pay no more?
$500.
I knew that, I just was curious.
Yeah. They're asking this next legislative session to have that increase, but last session, they weren't interested in increasing the fees at all. So then we have to swallow that.
Check it out.
Rephrase the question.
Do you want me to put a check mark by this and move on?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the increase of 14.5, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't look how much, I know it's 5 figures. 14,500, yeah. All right, next page is the weed board, that's no increase, so I assume we can check that one off.
Yep.
And the last page, obviously, that's a drop in the bucket for their overall cost for Wells Sheridan, they get $80,000, one way or another, so.
You can't change that.
Well, I don't think you're going to, but,
It stays the same.
the state matches what we provide up to $80,000, that's why it is set the way it is.
Okay.
So,
Go on here.
all right, so we've obviously got some increases that we have to work around. And they're probably, and I'm just saying probably, not coming out of your other departments that are within the county. That means they're likely coming out of the general fund. So as a result of that, we need to talk about the recorder's position. Obviously, it's my intent to open the position here after this meeting is over today, which means we'll start the interview probably in the early part of September. Okay, for a job that begins whatever the first business day is in January. Okay, what are your druthers? And it's easy to say that we're gonna try and go to a single person department. That creates a little bit of a caveat, and that what if
Yeah.
the applicant from the recorder's office, that I haven't seen the applicant yet because there isn't one yet, but let's just assume that she's an applicant and doesn't get the job.
You gonna let her go?
Is this
That's
gonna
Dan's
be,
question.
is this gonna be, no, this is an appointed position at this point.
It is.
It's changing to an appointed position.
Well, it's an
It is.
appointed
It is.
position.
Yeah.
She's just finishing out the year.
Right.
So that becomes the question, and it becomes a little bit of a walking on eggshells issue. Is she likely to be, if she's a candidate, is she likely to be the most knowledgeable person? I sure as heck hope so, because there isn't anybody else in Wells County that served in that capacity that's likely to apply for this position, right? Not, I suppose it's possible somebody could. But you have to understand that I have to create a budget long before that occurs. So I need to know what your directive to me is to do. What am I trying to create here?
What's the present salary now of that position? And I know there's years of experience with it.
Of the person who's in there?
Yeah.
The total package is about 100. I gave this to you, it's a few days ago.
That's Carrie.
And, because Carrie and Renee were separated by this much, okay? It's 3 months ago, I don't expect you to remember that, but I gave you total compensation for both of them, was $100,000 this year.
So what is the assistant position at this point?
And these are on the page here. Just so we know, a deputy recorder is grade 2, and the recorder is grade 5 on your sheet here. So if you look at grade 2 and grade 5, and then of course you gotta deal with how many years of experience that you have. Now, that's only the salary, has nothing to do with benefits.
Benefits would be the same.
Well,
Not necessarily,
Adding the
depending on who
benefits.
you hire.
you
No,
know,
no, no, I'm talking about the assistant right now.
Oh, right, now.
yeah, her benefits wouldn't change.
No, good.
There'd be a little bit more PERS, a little more social security, et cetera, because presumably she'd be jumping from grade 2 to grade 5. Okay, so there's gonna be an increase there. And then, somewhere in the back of your mind, okay, you're gonna be asking that person to do more. Okay?
Then what,
But there's gonna be no deputy.
Because
Look, you're assuming that.
Right, we're assuming, exactly.
if that's the directive that you give me. So those are things we can figure out, but I need to know what I'm creating a budget for.
Okay, if we end up with a single, let's assume that's what we're shooting for. And we have a set budget at this point. And we end up with a single, if it becomes more than it can handle or more requirement, can we up it through the year?
Yes.
So I would shoot.
Her income, you're talking.
Yeah, I would shoot for a figure that's reasonable, and if we have to, we can go up. Now, the question is, will the new one, whoever it is, be understandable that she's handling quite a little more? And can one person do the job of what's being handled now?
And Boone, you're the portfolio holder here, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Now the ball's in your court.
I believe you asked that question. And what was the answer?
well, yesterday.
Yeah, what did they say? Can one person handle it or not?
I says, are you ready for this? And she says, yep.
Don't use pronouns. Who you talking about?
The
No.
deputy,
Who else ain't gonna be in there, Lexi? I
The
don't wanna use her name.
the question was, is this a doable job? What's the answer?
She said, yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay?
That's what we're looking for
I
here.
don't know if you wanted the name.
Because I'm gonna throw this out. Okay, I've been through this before, not in Wells County, I've been through this before. And every time I made a proposal, anything like this, I was told initially, that will, fill in the blank, it'll never work. I used my deputy auditor 4 hours this last month.
with that said, will the new auditor have that convenience?
Recorder.
Yeah.
Recorder.
Yeah, I mean, recorder. Will that new
This
recorder-
goes back to your previous comment, and it goes back to this document. We need to find somebody that can at least start to learn a little bit about this position so that they could go in there and do something. Not everything, okay? But to start to introduce our employee group to, okay, fill in the blank. I'll say it again. Clerk of Court's office is partially funded by the state of North Dakota, right? Okay, you know how much state of North Dakota puts into our clerk of court's office? A half a FTE, 1/2. We have 2. We have 2 in taxation, we have 2 in the treasurer's office, we have 4.5 in the sheriff's office, we have 9 or whatever in the road department. I'm not saying all of those numbers are able to be an equivalent to something else, but when we went through this, I said, you know, you gotta start to look at things a little bit differently. We're moving into a different era. All right, and whether or not we're gonna be able to fund things exactly the same way as we did before remains to be seen. So you have to take advantage of the savings when they present themselves, because nothing else is, I promise you, health insurance isn't gonna be capped at 3%. The cost of any new road equipment isn't gonna be capped at 3%. If your sheriff needs a new transmission or a new vehicle, it ain't gonna be capped at 3%. You're gonna pay whatever you're told to pay. So you better find some other places in your budget you can save a couple of bucks.
So, could it be said that Connie could learn some of the recorder and some of yours and do something here, and she's a 3-sided situation?
I'm not suggesting any one individual.
Well, we had talked about
But that's
that.
one.
Yeah.
You know, Denise is one.
Oh, okay,
Kathy is one.
I got you.
You know, there's folks that,
They have slack time in their department.
and there's times that they're really, really busy.
Yeah.
But where are those opportunities that we can take advantage of some downtime? I'm not gonna lie to you, when I get here in the morning, today's like my easy day. Okay? When I get here, it's right to it, and you look up, it's 4 o'clock, or 4:12, or whatever, and it's time to go home. I don't have any of that anymore, and that's fine, I did this is self-inflicted, but I also know you're asking me to deliver on a budget here. Okay? And I know that was an opportunity, and I took it. Someday I'm gonna walk away, and you might not be able to get somebody that wants to do that. You think? But I need to know what I'm creating a budget for. And this is what you guys get paid for.
So, how long has it been 2 employees in the recorders?
Years.
I'm sure a long time.
Decades.
Ever since I've been in there, I mean,
Whatever.
So when you advertise for somebody
Right here.
to apply for more.
At the end of this year, I've been
You
into
have to
10,
approve that. Salary.
at the end of this year.
Well, you do a range in there, you
Okay,
can do
okay.
lots of different
Okay,
things.
I'll give you a few where I'm going.
I would guess that salary would be commensurate with experience and things of that nature,
Sure.
which is what your salary schedule takes into account. So,
Probably one of the biggest things though, if you decide to eliminate the system, is that you need to state that when you put an application out there for,
You are eliminating an assistant.
you know,
You're
it's gonna be different if someone will take the head job and there's assistant, and now they're gonna apply for this and they're the lone ranger,
Yeah.
so to speak. That's a
Right.
whole different
It's a whole different ballgame.
scenario as to responsibilities and things like that. You'll get more applications if there's two people in the job, in the
Oh, yeah.
office that
Oh, yeah.
want. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
But if that's what we're moving towards, shouldn't we advertise it that way as a one position or one person in the Lone Ranger?
That's what we have to decide.
that's
Yeah.
what we have to decide.
But we can budget it for one full-time and like part-time or put in that too, right?
well, I mean, what I'm likely to do is, you give me direction on this, I am likely to budget some dollars to get somebody to be willing to step outside of their comfort zone,
Oh, okay, for incentives, okay.
okay?
Right,
To help part-time,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I'm not in the camp to agree to the fact of making this from two positions to one and putting that in the budget. Yeah. I'd rather have like Brian says, a one full-time, some money for a part-time.
yeah.
That's drastic enough for now.
But that part-time person is most likely, not for certainty, but is most likely someone who's already employed here in
Right,
some
yeah.
other
So we don't
capacity.
have to worry about benefits for that one. They'll
Correct.
get the benefits.
And then that way we have some flexibility.
In that
That's-
budget,
that's
you
my
might have
input.
to put a
I agree.
a
I'm in
page
camp.
in there for part-time help. I mean, I don't know, how do you explain it? For other employees to help in these positions.
Just-
An extra page in the budget for that, would that be a possibility?
Well, it's already being paid for the job. and
Yeah, I
it's-
understand that, but
You pay
So-
an extra.
how are we gonna make them wanna do some of this extra work?
Well, that seems to me to be the best motivation that,
You got that right.
you know,
What's that?
Money dollars.
Yeah.
motivation.
I mean, in this budget, this planning deal, put an extra page in there for extra help, or how, I don't know how to
Just
say
have
it.
a budget.
Put it in the budget, an extra 50,000, and if you don't use it, you don't use it.
That's employee.
And,
You
yeah,
gotta keep things under the cap.
well, I mean, I don't know, I'm just saying,
And we don't have a choice with the cap because we're not going back to the voters.
right,
That can't be put on.
because
a
it's
different
not
line.
an elected, it's appointed.
No, it's,
That's within that.
and everything is governed by 3%, with the exception of emergency and water board. So,
Okay, so let's say we just do it single and not put a compensation in the budget. And about 2 months into it or whatever, we decide that we need to have this extra person or whatever this extra is. Can we just do that, or is that still the 3%?
you're not asking the taxpayer for anything, you're just figuring out how to spend the allocated resources you already
If
have.
we're up against the ceiling, you can't.
Yeah, but it's you can't go past the 3%.
Not without going to the people.
Once you're up to the
Okay,
ceiling.
yeah, okay, I got you. I just was.
So, essentially, I need some clear guidance, because the next time this group meets, this thing's pretty much gotta be done. Now, you won't finalize it until October, but it's gotta be done in September, and that's the next time this group meets. And I did, probably request from Dennis, whether or not he agrees with it or not, I guess he can throw that out here right now, but two of you, a committee, if you will, a budget committee, work together with me on this. Now,
And I feel that I shouldn't be on it because I won't be here anymore.
He won't be here, and probably not Brian Miller either, because he won't be here either. That leaves 3 of you.
You guys are kinda narrowing this down. You feel
Narrow
painted into a corner at this
down
point?
to 3.
Boone and Stan can handle that for you.
Well, or, I'm passing the buck here, doing a special meeting, maybe we did that last
We
year.
did do that last
Special
year.
meeting just for the budget.
Yes, we
We
did
did
do that
that
last year,
last year.
but
I think we should do that.
And I don't have an issue with that, but there's some things that gotta get ironed out before we get to that.
Oh.
I got,
Before this gets done in November, we
no,
gotta,
no, no, no.
We're talking in August, you wanna have this special
Yeah,
meeting.
it's gotta be between now and if we would have a special meeting, it needs to be before your September
Yeah.
meeting, which
Yes.
is September 8th.
Yeah.
So, but this would have to be before that, because if we don't do this before that, well then, we're not any further than we are today.
So, I'm gonna ask a real pointed question here, and I'm probably gonna get shot for it.
Will I just do this for you? I will, if that's what you tell me to do,
No,
but I prefer not. I think you guys have
No, I
to
think
give the
that's a
directive.
good idea.
there's gotta be more than one line, or one more than one person in this, because it's getting,
so when we have this special meeting, is that when we decide who gets cut or who gets added, as far as the dollars?
Well, you'd look at every other department's budget.
That, in that meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I mean, that needs to be done before we
Right.
come back to September too, but you and I probably need to sit down here and just, and again, the 2 of you can't make decisions for the 5 of you,
No.
but you can have
Pretty good
at least
idea.
you could have an idea of why.
And a
Right.
recommendation
You know
for
what?
the next meeting.
When you can answer the question why, then how doesn't really matter. You know, so.
Okay.
You wanna just pick 2 guys, or you wanna volunteer, what do you wanna do?
I prefer you pick 2 guys.
You're the captain.
That's why the chairman gets all the extra money.
Okay, let's do this. Is there a day between August 24th and September 4th that this whole group can meet, special meeting? Between August 24th and September 4th.
Just pick a day. None of us know what's going on. We're one day to the next.
We, I'm gonna have the calendar here, reading it.
Right. I'll be harvesting, but I'm sure it's in the morning.
We do it early in the morning, yeah.
What's the best day of the week? I don't know. Is like today, Tuesday, a good day?
Tuesday works.
August 25th.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Okay.
It's gonna be raining that day.
It is?
That's what it says.
All right, so we've got August 25th, so that means that any 2 of you and I need to meet sometime between now and August 25th, and preferably not the day before.
What do you 2 guys wanna be on?
I'll do it.
Stan?
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
When do you wanna do that? We wanna do it in the morning, right?
17th is a week before the other meeting. That's enough to hash it.
17th or 18th, pick one.
Don't matter to me. If Stan's gonna be the one to come, I mean,
I don't care. Either.
August 18th or 18th.
August 18th, we got a meeting, and the 24th, then, right?
25th. They're both Tuesdays. So August 18th is Stan, Boone, and myself, and August 25th is all of you. And with those 2 things in place, we should be able to have a budget on our September 8th meeting.
All right.
But it won't be approved until
Probably October.
October, okay.
We can speak to it for that.
I have a question.
Oh, we got those like at 8 o'clock or what?
Yeah, that's tentative, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
Early, 8 or early?
8 would work.
And if you wanna go earlier, I'm fine with that too.
I'm up, I mean. You wanna go earlier? So you get done earlier? Okay. Matter to me.
You wanna go earlier?
7:30?
Best leave it at 8, so it's not confusing.
Okay.
Right.
All right, then, everything else is just FYI, and with one exception. Who's served as the delegate? I thought it was you.
I did, yes.
Are you comfortable doing that again?
That's what the desire is, fine. That's, you're
Yep.
talking about the state convention.
Yep.
You get a better breakfast out of it, too.
Really?
Now Dennis
Second
wants to do
day.
it.
They were mean.
Okay, do note that the six county meeting is a Thursday, not a Tuesday. That is September 10th. That's where McIntosh County
Wicked.
is. Ashland, way down in Ashland.
Or Asheville.
But that's a Thursday, not a Tuesday, the 10th of September, because and the reason it's changed is because the Wells County Commissioners aren't doing it September 8th. But they moved it for us.
Wow.
We better go.
Well, I got a quick question. Will I let Brent cool off a couple of days and then go talk to Jimmy Albright, or do I not?
Well, you guys
Talk to
gotta
Jimmy
go
first.
talk to him.
Huh?
We'll talk to Jimmy first.
Without Brent or with
Yeah,
Brent?
without Brent.
Just
Huh?
you can,
Without
yeah,
Brent.
just you can do that.
Yeah, you just go start visiting.
Okay,
You'll find out.
that's
You'll find
fine.
out where to go.
I will do it. I didn't know this big problem was out there.
In all reality, I'm not sure that's Brent's job. He's a road foreman.
Well, yeah.
He's not in the land acquisition department.
Right.
Doesn't the engineers kind of cover?
I thought the engineer would have.
See, I'm thinking part of the ball got dropped by them too.
Yep.
There is multiple things here, and you don't remember this, but I said it a year ago. I originally phrased it by saying, are we gonna have to buy some land?
Right. I remember that.
Because when the road moves to here, you take this piece of land, but now this piece becomes available. A land swap should be part of this. He should get back where the old road is. Now, you might say, that's no good for Dane, but isn't the road gonna be taken away?
Maybe.
Okay, well, it
No,
needs
the
to
one
be
road's
taken
gonna
away.
keep
I
going
think
by
we all,
Jimmy.
I can speak for the whole group. We all assumed you were gonna buy that land or township.
strip
He
where
was
that
gonna get
extra road.
compensated in
Yeah,
some
yeah.
For
way.
that road.
Yes, but there should also be a land swap, because who's going to own this now? The county owns.
No,
No,
because
well,
this
it's-
particular deal, the road goes by Jimmy's and it's gonna stay by there and they're gonna go up around on his land. And there's a piece over here along the end that's gonna be condemned because that goes down to that bridge. That'll be part of their field over here, but it'll only be half of that old road that they're not gonna use.
So isn't that road gonna go away though?
Thought they were using.
Yeah, they were gonna use that dirt
Yeah.
to build the new road.
So
weren't they?
that road's gonna go away, which means part of this could be at least a land swap.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
It's not gonna be that
That's
much.
gonna be a lot further around there to get to this other road that goes here.
The
It's
new
only-
road's twice as long as the old one.
Yeah, and this is another bridge over here.
Does anybody really know where the road's going?
Yeah, the engineers got it on their plat map.
I'd like to see that map.
Is it state?
No, it's not.
Because.
Is it,
Well,
because
it's
he's
not
gonna
set.
Brent's
want-
got a picture of that, don't he?
I know,
I will go get a picture.
proposed. He will wanna see a proposed spot where it's going. I would,
Right, when you go out there, you'll need a picture.
I need that map that Brent has.
And there might have to be some changes to it.
Yes, okay. Now I know what I want, now I know what I'm gonna do.
Okay. We'll see how good you are at negotiating.
that'll be a way
But-
of deal.
We can offer to either trade and swap, plus we might owe them a little
Well, that's
extra
what
because
they-
it's further.
But that's what the engineers
Geez, that's
do.
the
They go-
engineer, he's gotta have that built into his proposal, doesn't he?
When we did that
Well,
bridge by
I want-
Wellsburg, the engineers negotiated.
Knew exactly, and Elvishere's got paid for X amount. I didn't use no names here, but I know that worked out really good, and nobody got mad at nobody.
When the engineers did that.
Right. But in this case, it didn't happen out there.
The ball got dropped, and there's plenty of fingers and plenty of drops, and it's just gotta move on.
Yes, exactly. Okay, I'm fine with that. Let's get out of here.
Anything else? Anybody? Dan, got anything else?
Motion.
Okay, meeting adjourned.
Turn by dinner, Mike.
I'm not, no, I gotta go home,
Everybody gotta go?
well, if the rest of you don't, but I do.
I gotta go make hay.
Brian, you going too?
I should.
Is it because the sun? Nobody wants to go out with Dennis on his birthday.
Thanks a lot.
Sorry, that's it. We're gonna all buy
Well, we'll go, let's go somewhere like the casino or something. Come back tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
No, I would be sicker than sick.
Okay, and you're gonna remind me, obviously, Dan,
Yep.
for August 18th.
I sure am.
I bet you are.